Hi, fifth grade. We're going to take a look at a program that we have used in previous years. We're going to do a little work with Microsoft Excel. This program is part of the Microsoft Office suite of programs. It usually comes bundled with PowerPoint, Publisher, and Word. If you recall, Microsoft Excel is a program that's great for organizing lists and data and information, and even does a little math for you, like graphing and building tables. It can automatically complete any math function you ask it to do, including simple functions like multiplying, dividing, adding, and subtracting, as well as many other more complicated mathematical functions. Well, we're going to do some work with some data in Microsoft Excel. So we're going to double-click the desktop icon and choose Blank Workbook. You'll notice that we have the same ribbon across the top that we have in the other Microsoft software. The ribbon is divided into tabs, which opens different groups of tools or commands. The page is divided by vertical columns, each labeled with an alphabet letter, and horizontal rows, each labeled with a number. When the columns and rows intersect, it creates rectangles all over the page. Each rectangle is called a cell. This cell is cell A1. That's the cell address. Each cell has a cell address, and you can look at the highlighted column letter and row number to find the cell address. This cell address is L12. When you get to your seat and open your blank workbook, you'll double-click in cell A1 to get your cursor. We're going to find out a little bit about each other by gathering data about your classmates. Each of you gets to pick a different question that you'd like to ask your classmates. Please make sure the question is school appropriate, kind, and respectful to others. Your question must start with a capital and end with a question mark. Here's my question. Don't forget that question mark. This entire question is typed into cell A1. A1 couldn't fit all that text, so it extended out over top of cell B1 and C1. If I wanted to click in to add more to that question, I wouldn't click here. I'd have to come back to cell A1 and click in cell A1, even though it's extended over this far. After you have your question, check that you have your capital, your question mark, click in cell A2, and properly capitalized, type your first name. You can move from cell to cell using the Tab key on the keyboard. You can also use the arrow keys on the keyboard. To move down a row, you hit Enter. And finally, you can click with the mouse to relocate to a different cell. Next to your name in cell B2, your job is to type your answer to your question. Finally, you're going to come up to the Review tab, and you're going to review your spelling in the whole document. Notice I didn't type the E for apple, so it's suggesting I add it. You click the suggestion you meant and click Change. And then, of course, check your whole document. It's your job to check your work. In a minute, the teacher will give you a signal to rotate. When you get that signal, you will move one computer clockwise. You will read that person's question, click in the next cell in column A, type your name with capitals, and you will answer the question. It is your job to spell check your response. Please do not rotate until the teacher gives the signal. If you are at someone's computer and you type a letter that was used previously, you will see Microsoft Excel automatically tries to fill that word for you. If that's the word you wanted, you simply hit enter. If it's not, you continue typing your answer. And of course, spell check it. Please try to rotate through the entire class's questions, answering each question. If you do not have an answer to a question, please put the word none. Don't forget to spell check. Please do this quietly, calmly, respectfully, with your best manners. When everyone has rotated and answered each classmate's question, and you are back at your own sheet, please click the tab between A and 1, which selects your whole document, and do a final spell check to make sure everything's spelled correctly. And finally, you're going to click File, Save As. We only click Save As the first time you save a project, like this. Then we will click Browse. In the left pane, click your Student ID folder. And one thing Microsoft Excel is not so good at is naming projects. Book 1 is a terrible name. We're going to type this class question. That is the name of this document. You see I have another document named that. You guys know I make one with each class. I'm going to add a 1 to the end. You will not need to do that. The file name in your folder is class question. Save, exit, and listen to your teacher. Next week we'll be sorting our data, customizing it, creating a data table and chart, otherwise known as graph. Thanks. I can't wait to see what we can learn about each other from this